I wish we were in person because I hate to say it. Like I'm not sure how your name is pronounced. If it's Heron or Jehrand, so I apologize. I wish we were in person. We'd have like a conversation and get to know each other better in those terms. But I read what you wrote about just kind of photographing your fiance. This is like your day-to-day life, like those kind of aspects. I think that's really awesome. I enjoy that. I enjoy the realness of things rather than kind of the total kind of construct of things or the ideal of photography, what a lot of people think it should be, and the posing and all that kind of thing all the time. Not that there's anything wrong with that when you're trying to create a vision or a certain aesthetic or anything like that. That's okay. But there's a certain level of photography where everyone thinks there's a camera and you just need to smile and look at it. And you're definitely obviously gotten beyond that, and thank you for that. Yeah, I really like how I'm just kind of like mumbling and scrolling through as I go along here. Oh, I love the dog. Um, yeah, I'll go back to the top and go a little deeper. Um, yeah, these are really good. I again like love they're intimate, they're personal, they're beyond the obvious. It's almost oh no, you're going beyond the obvious, and that's awesome. Technically, with this one, I would just watch this like highlight area here, like you're kind of competing with your subject a little bit. Like this is so bright, people's eye are going to kind of be drawn to it. Since it's kind of like an inanimate object, no one wants to look at it anyway. You can just kind of make it darker in Photoshop or Lightroom, just this one section, and just kind of neutralize it so it's not as obvious, and I think you'd be fine. But just in the future, keep aware of those kind of things. Overall, it's just a tiny bit yellowish. Like the white here, just a little bit yellow. This is a little bit yellow. As I'm looking around, like the things that should be white are just a little bit yellowish. Like so, and I'm looking at this highlight, and it's a yellowish light, I would say, probably sort of incandescent light or something like that. But just to neutralize it just a hair, just a little bit to cool it down. Yeah, that's probably the light right there. Yeah, this is great though. This photo is awesome. I like this. Again, you have that competition though between the two, but I don't mind it in this one as much because it's like it's so bright. I'm starting to get a sense of like what she puts herself through every time she has to put makeup on, which seems like a horrible thing to have to do every day to yourself. Um, but I don't get it, but I guess I get it if I were a woman. But yeah, so yeah, I don't mind the competition of it, but again, do be aware of those things in your photographs. This is cool too. Just hanging out, something funny on the computer, showing everyone. It's like the typical everyday thing. Yeah, nice, comfortable on the couch, doing nails, glasses of wine. Looks like wine anyway. Got her lamp up, the nail lamp. I assume this is probably like her ritual. I would think this is like the once a week thing or the multiple time a week thing or something like that. Or reading a book, watching TV, doing that kind of thing, just doing the nails. It's my assumption. It's cool. Yeah, I like that you're in closer, and I like this as like a different detail. But the photograph here, like I like this interaction a little bit more, just with the wine glasses. It's just kind of more telling. It sets this whole mood up. Where here, it's like we're doing the nails, and this is the detail of the nail, and you know, that's cool. But this does a lot more for me. One thing I will say, if you look at the highlights, like around these glasses, sometimes in the hair, you have to be really, really picky about this kind of thing, and it's just something I've started to see a lot in my work. Is you get a tiny bit of something called fringing, where you get these weird colors, like it's a tiny bit of purple on the edge of this, and just be aware of that as you go along and photograph too. Like here, it's all green. This is all like a green uh, highlight in here. That one doesn't look as bad. That one not quite as bad either. But something called fringing, just to be aware of it and get rid of it if you can in Lightroom. It's a real simple slider tool. I really love this though. I like and close reading. Uh, I almost want to be able to just like read a word or two, something like that, but it works just fine. Again, it's a little bit yellow in color. I know you again have the yellow light, but just to neutralize it a touch. This is awesome. The total unexpected. I'm sure she wasn't like, this is how I want to be photographed. So I appreciate that she did that, and I appreciate she was like a good tolerant model, and she's putting up with everything you're putting her through. That's awesome. This is really nice though too. This is like everyday, so relatable to everyone all around. I like how visually it works with this, the lamp here. and then the cord just like connecting us to your fiance here into the phone and what she's doing, and it looks like her eye. I can't tell if she's looking here or off at something over in the distance, but just that interaction with everything is really nice. Yeah. Of course, giving the dog a bath. That's awesome. Poor dog. My dog loves, hates getting baths. I don't know. It almost like, yeah, that's cool. Is it your dog? I assume it's your dog anyway. Unless she does this for work. I don't know. It makes more questions. Like I want to know more. I want to see more about this scene, or maybe step back just a little bit more and show like the room a little bit. If it's your house, maybe it is. Like yeah, I'm just trying to maybe just asking more questions I need to. This is nice. So I like your point of focus here. Yeah. Hopefully you're at a red light when you took this. Looks like you're driving. Oh, I like the little detail for this is like the reflection of the phone here. It's like in a perfect world, like we'd be able to see a little bit more of like what she's looking at through this. So you have like this interaction, but it works really well. It works totally well. Big Apple people, I see. Apple computer, watches, phone, nice. The fiance. She looks a little more pensive or not upset, but definitely contemplative here. But it's really nice focus here. Nice, good soft light. Real beautiful. Nice also. I want to know more like what she's looking at here, what she's focusing on. Yeah, cool. This one starts to become like a little bit more staged for me. Like I don't like it quite. Not that I don't like it as much, but it's a little bit more like, hey, stand here and look this way, as opposed to some of the other ones. Where this one is like maybe doing the same thing, but I actually like it quite a bit. Where it's not quite as obvious because it's more about shape and form and its awesome relationship with these people back here and this and making these shadows. Like it's great. I never thought about doing that. That's hilarious. Yeah, this is really beautiful and really strong photograph. This is nice though too. I'm more interested in kind of what's going on and where you guys are and what's happening. There's a lot of noise and the photograph is breaking down quite a bit. So maybe it's like a cell phone photograph or uh, the your camera ISO is really bumped up really high. Something like that. But kind of watch out for that. This has a little bit of the weird artifacts too. Maybe it's a cell phone picture too. Has just some kind of weird color going on. It's a little bit saturated. Um, it's nice. I like the composition. I like that she's here in the foreground. This is the background. This is obviously kind of like what's happening, what's going on, where you're going, or where you've been, or where you're planning to go, whatever. Um, but the color's a little bit off for me, and it seems almost a little staged compared to the other one. So it started. You seem like to have like two different bodies of work almost. Like these are much more intimate, at home, personal feeling, uh, and then you have like a more staged kind of feel to these photographs, especially like this. Um, Again, not that there's anything wrong with it, but if I were to look at this or order these photographs, I would intersperse these up so it's not kind of so uh, personal versus staged, or in the house, out the house. Maybe change it up a little bit. The way that you order them may have a bit to do. This looks like, please walk here, Abbey Road, stop. It's a little bit too heavy-handed, maybe. The composition is nice. I don't know if I would maybe wait for no car or wait for more of an interaction with it or something like that, just about timing with that. And I mean, it's beautiful light, and I kind of like that she's like, I'm kind of cold. It looks like I'm chilly. I don't really want to be here. uh, yeah, the composition is nice. Yeah, these are interesting too. I like these kind of like moments where you're a little bit more personal and like the eating moments. Those are great. This too is nice walking, shopping. That's what I think of. Yeah, you have some really awesome pictures though. I really like this. Like again, the first half is really great. The second parts are great too. They just work in a different way, and just understand how they work and be conscious of that when you put work together. Um, yeah, and watch this. The only like little things I would say are just like the coloration, just a little bit yellow here and there. Again, I know there's a yellow light, but try to neutralize it just a touch. Yeah, overall, like great job, and yeah, I hope at some point in time I get to see your work done in the future and keep photographing. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me.